Hello and welcome to this Cryptoverse AMA with myself, Dan Pope, and the Cryptoverse founder, sensei, visionary, Robbie Cochran. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. How are you getting on?
I'm good, thank you. It's really good to be here, and thank you everybody for joining us around the world. Um, this AMA has a very clear purpose. Let's tell you about the Cryptoverse Summer Playfest. We'll go through kind of an FAQ, key questions, what you could expect, what new modes we've got in Cryptoverse, and how you can get started. And if you have any questions, obviously just get them inside in the chat, and we'll answer them as we go along. Um, Firstly, I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining us. And if you've not already signed up to the Cryptoverse Summer Playfest, you could do so on our website, www.cryptoverse.vip/playfest. We're already in the thousands with the sign-ups. Only a certain amount of people will be let in, so everyone get signed up. And I know a lot of you here will have been already. What we'll do as well is we'll go through each section of this AMA together. And we'll also do a little bit of tagging and doing some sections on YouTube so you can quickly skip between when you're watching it back if you want to sort of find out the key information. So, Rob, how are you feeling? You feeling good?
Yeah, not feeling too bad. It was chaotic last time, a few days before. It's chaotic now. No matter how well you kind of feel like you've planned, this is tech. It's a lot of game tech. It's a lot of web tech. There's a lot of moving parts. So it's there's pressure. There's pressure for the team. There's pressure for me to get things as right as we can. In knowing, obviously, we're still in the playtest. And sometimes it feels a lot, because we want to do the best job we possibly can for the users and the community and everyone involved. So, feeling good, but also feeling, like there's quite a lot on the shoulders as usual. Yeah.
Yeah, like you say, classic game dev. And it is a play test. And, this is the point where we want people to try it, play it, feedback. We're really looking forward to it. So let's go through. I want to just go through a list, Rob, to begin with. I want to go through what can you actually do in the summer playfest, right? So I'm going to go down the list, and I'll just sort of go through for everybody. What is kind of new, what they can expect to happen when the playfest begins. So I think the first thing to kind of say here is that obviously on the last playtest we did in January, sort of back in January, we got lots of feedback from everybody. And that was all really helpful, and it's helped us kind of optimize clear out some bugs. A lot of challenges that we were having, we've kind of tried to iron out before this play test. Obviously, as you do that, sort of more arise, and it's kind of like an evolving thing. But we've had your feedback, tried to fix everything that we could, and obviously that then that's one of the main things we've worked on. So we're really pleased with that, especially. There is once again, we'll be collecting your feedback for the playfest as we go along as well. So there'll be a list of known bugs that, as I said before it starts. And then we want to collect them as we're going along as well, so we can kind of fix them as we're going along throughout the playtest. There is there's a bigger world to explore. So there's a lot more building types to discover, a lot more things to discover in Cryptoverse. There's a whole, Rob, there's a whole new parkour experience that maybe you want to describe.
Yeah, I mean, we had quite a bit of fun testing the parkour today, even though like there's some last minute bugs to iron out. So it seems to be the case. But yeah, I mean, it's fun. That's the main thing. I think last time we saw that people started off strong, seemed to be spending quite a bit of time in, and then naturally it's like that time reduced as the playtest went on, because obviously just there needs to be more things for people to do, and we recognise, look, it's still not there in terms of how many things people can do and maybe how long they want to spend there. But this is definitely a value add. It's challenging, but it also feels rewarding. It's collaborative in the sense that like it's fun doing it with people. But essentially, it's just like a parkour course that's in the middle of the CBD area. And people have got to kind of complete a time trial similar to the what they did with the car. They start it and then they've got to do the course as fast as they can. There are some functions which means that users need to, execute certain commands on the keyboard, and the avatar will perform a certain animation, which is like swinging or sliding or whatever it would be. And they've got to complete the course as fast as they can, but the course has got different variations. You can try and complete it in different ways, some faster, some more risky, and obviously therefore there's different levels of challenge depending on how you approach it as well. So yeah, we're quite excited about the parkour, and also, to be honest with you, it really represents the sort of experience that, once everything's sort of operating how we'd want it to be in terms of content creation, in terms of blueprint functionality from the modding tool. It's an example of the sort of experience that somebody with basic to intermediate knowledge of Unreal Engine could potentially even create for their own parcel. So it even represents the type of content creation and experiential creation that people could really look to kind of get the teeth into or aim to work towards. So all around, I'm quite excited to see how people respond to it, and also to try and compete in the sort of the time trial myself, because I only had about 20 minutes today to test it, but I wanted to play it longer. And generally speaking, like, as somebody who's interested in decentralized metaverses, is interested in games and exploration and so on, I actually, and also fits the probably personal the persona profiling that we've generally kind of sort of look to target from a marketing perspective and a user acquisition perspective. I fit that fairly well. So generally speaking, I actually think of myself as a half decent gauge for some of that persona. And if I enjoy it, then I think, potentially quite strongly that other people may do too. So I'm quite excited for that in particular. It demonstrates the type of experience that you couldn't necessarily do with ease amongst other engine and other decentralized metaverse platforms, but is a real good example of the sort of thing that we can achieve, in relatively quick time, really. And also can encourage no-code users the creators to build themselves. So all around, yeah. Sorry to blabber on, but quite excited by this.
No, that's a great answer, Robert. I think you touched on the key there, and that is it's almost like a representation of what is possible in a sort of metaverse like ours. And I guess all of the content we are creating is almost there as a platform to show others, hey, this is what you can kind of do, right? And then you take it and you build it out in your metaverse visions. So everything here is kind of like, look, this is what we think you can do. It's up to the users eventually to go and then make that, explode that world with even more content, I think. So the parkour thing is coming. We've got a parkour experience. There'll be a time trial on that, like Robbie said. We'll also have a competition running who can do it the fastest. So,
yeah,
practice on that one.
All being well as well, we should have leaderboards. I'm pretty sure the leaderboards are working and functional, but as always, there's always last minute things to hook up and whatever else. So it's never as straightforward as just like, oh, here's a leaderboard. It's like, well, if you want to display it in world, it needs to be pulling via the webhook or the API, and then the website needs to be updated accurately, and then you need a piece of content to display. Yeah, it's never just like, one job and tick it off. There's always kind of like crossover of 3 or 4 different people. So and as always, like, you're always trying to sort of knit those things together, where you always feel like it'll be done sooner. There's always something. You change one thing and it breaks one thing. You move one thing, it changes another. It's just like, it's always like this: 2 step forward, 1 step back. That just perpetual evolving roundabout of
that. So yeah, we've got a number of different things coming to the Playfest. There's these kind of things that you could do in the wild, like you could explore, you could do the parkour, you can drive around still, you can chat with your friends and socialize. There's also obviously there's the racing track again that returns, so you can compete for the best time in that. I believe the cars have different speeds, something maybe Robbie can iron out, but all of these things will be kind of gamified a little bit for everyone to try and compete for the best scores across the playtest. It's just a 2-day event, so it's it is 48 hours right from start to end. That is for a couple of reasons, really. That's to get as many concentrated people in at the same time, right? So it's not because we don't want you to play it for as long as possible, because we do. And I think there'll be more of these going forward. Certainly for landowners, think we just might open it up a little bit more often for people that's in our sort of customer base. But generally, we want to have try and fill up the metaverse as much as possible, really, to sort of stress test it, see how it operates, and try and get more concentrated people in a smaller amount of time. So there's racing, there's the maze kind of challenge that Robbie's talked about as well. We haven't really shown much of that off. We've not shown a lot of this off, to be honest with you. And that's because we want you to go in there. We want you to try it, right? We want you to see it for yourselves as you kind of can, and experience it firsthand. As you can imagine, there's going to be the building tool has received a number of improvements. You can put certain textures on the building blocks now. There's different kind of blocks to place down. You can color the blocks. I think you've all seen the trailer, obviously. You can obviously color those blocks now different colors as well. So there's a bit more creative. There's a different. There's a lot more you can do now with that kind of set of tools. It's still obviously on a journey. This is, and it's one of the most important thing, if not probably one of the highest important thing in the cryptoverse. It's being able to build, deploy content kind of that easy, simplified way. And we're really excited to see what you can build there, because there'll be 3 different building competitions, including when we begin and across the next 2 days as well. So we've got a theme for each one as well. We've got an article releasing tomorrow that will kind of detail all of what I'm saying in a bit more detail, but essentially you'll be able to find out the themes then. But essentially what we're assuming is that you're going to get better with the building tool as the days progress. So the challenges will get a little bit harder each day, basically. So that's really exciting. We're looking forward to you playing around that. The building as well is not just located to the building area. The world is actually, and maybe Robbie can help me explain this a bit better, because I'm a noob, as Robbie says to me all the time offline and in front of people, actually. To be fair, there is the building area that you can go ahead and do your building in, and you can create your content. But actually, outside of the CBD area, the hub has kind of been generated and opened up, so you can actually walk and drive to kind of the other end of the hub area, which is far, isn't it, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely massive. To drive from one side to the other might take you a few hours, even in the really fast cars, such as the size of it. But this is in order to present this, it has kind of broken some other things and caused some issues elsewhere. So this is why, namely, it feels a little bit more sort of, I wouldn't say a little bit more rushed for us. We worked hard, the programming team and the content team worked really hard to kind of open up the hub as part of this experience and allow people to kind of experiment with using the builder on the parcels. Now, the wallet stack is there. And you will be interacting with the wallet stack when you go and purchase cars, just with mock tokens right now. They're on testnet from the car shop, as well as a UI and otherwise. And when you get these cars, and obviously there's some other cars placed around the CBD, you'll be able to drive to the other parts of the hub. So the wallet stack exists, and also the parcels exist. The data for the parcels, but what is not yet hooked is that ownership layer between who owns the parcels and obviously the wallet themselves, namely because of UI and UX and other things, but they're not hooked together. So what that means is that as part of this playtest, you can locate your own parcels and go almost test building there using the builder and so on. But it also means that, because we haven't got that ownership layer, practically anyone can build anywhere for this playtest. All of the parcels will be open for that purpose. But remembering, obviously, none of this data is saved, so it's not going to, in reality, affect your parcel once that ownership layer is integrated. So that's the current status. What that has entailed has been essentially a merging of what exists in terms of the web layer and the Web3 layer from the parcel ownership, and also Unreal and the CBD and the parcel integration there. So it's bringing those two things together. It has meant that as part of that merge, we've had some challenges around world partitioning, because we've had to essentially migrate the CBD map slightly to be more in line with, essentially the Web3 map, but also Unreal itself. So in doing that, it has kind of broken world partitioning, and this is one of the things that's just going to affect performance somewhat. So a little bit frustrating, not really something we could 100% potentially foresee, but it has meant that what we've been able to present is the ability for users to go and use the builder on other land parcels, but it's at the cost at the moment of some optimization in the CBD. So that's the status. Do you want me to elaborate further, Dan?
No, I'm just trying to find the mute button. Yeah, just to unmute myself.
You always struggle to find that.
I struggle to find a lot of things, Rob, in life. Actually, don't read too much into that. No, thanks, Rob. So yeah, there's a lot of different things to explore. The world's bigger, like you say. Everything new always comes with a kind of a new caveat, but that's kind of the idea, I guess, of making something like this. We're on this journey together, and everyone's here to help us get there, test things out, tell us what they think, if they like it, and help us improve. So I'm really looking forward to seeing people get involved in the events. Each event on each day, there'll obviously be the social type events as well, where people can take photos and share them, and we'll have prizes. You know, we're going to pepper this thing with prizes throughout, because we want people to share this as far as and as wide as possible, right? We've got a lot of different signups, and you know, we're hoping to be oversubscribed, really, but really we want to fill it up with as many people as possible. Just on the marketing side of things, we've got a lot of kind of several KOLs going live with videos as well. So please, if you see them, you know, give them a like, give them a share, help us get the word out there. That's how everyone can kind of help us, you know. Certainly taking part in all the competitions really helps us, because not only is it fun, and it kind of gets us a lot of nice footage as well to help promote the metaverse and the cryptoverse. It also, yeah, it helps us get the word out there as well. So this is a way you can help us give back by sharing everything you see and taking part in the competitions, because it really does help. And it's a lot of fun. So how do you actually play? I think a lot of people watching this will probably know exactly what they need to do, but essentially, I think one of the two of the key pieces here is that you need an Epic Game account, right? So if you've not got one, I'll put a link in the description. Please get one, because you'll need it before you log on. Obviously, there is some kind of everyone by now will know that the Cryptoverse is Unreal Engine 5. You know, it's kind of a high-end AAA graphics type metaverse experience. So you'll need a decent gaming rig as well. Again, all of the system requirements, which haven't changed since the last time, will be on the article that we'll share tomorrow. I think there are a couple ways to downscale the graphics as well, so we'll share those as well, so people can actually try it. Even if you've not got a super gamer rig, you'll be able to try it at a different kind of FPS as well. So yeah, we're really excited if you come try this. It's in 2 days. There's going to be events happening every single day. You're not going to miss anything, because we're going to hammer you. Okay, we're going to you'll be sick of us by the end of it. Everything's going to be shared over and over again. Events, come take part in all of it. Make sure you get in the Discord group as well. So because we don't want to kind of just hammer everybody. We want to make sure that people in the playtest are the ones that are getting all of the messages, so they don't miss out on things as well. So maybe it'll be a good time to look at any questions that we have. In the meantime, I think I did see one from our friend Crypto Monk. Absolutely, yeah. So anyone that has land will be prioritized entry. That's a guaranteed. No need to worry about that. So yeah, just no need to worry about it. Obviously, you would have all seen as well that we're running a promo for a gaming laptop. So to enter this, all you need to do, download Cryptoverse and go into, you probably remember the place where you kind of, I think it's called the Prizatron, Rob, is that correct?
Yeah, it's a Rewardatron. It's currently named. Mao decided on that name for some reason. We haven't renamed it. I guess it's a little bit of an Easter egg from him. It's at the information center. It's the same place as it was located previously. So I don't believe that shifted in terms of its locale in CBD.
Yeah, so we're going to be heavily promoting that. Excuse me. So to go and to get yourself, Robbie, I can see you laughing. To get yourself signed up for that, just go into the Rewardatron, got to rename that. I don't like saying it. And just fill in your email address. That just confirms to us that you took part. Why are we giving away a gaming laptop? You know, I've had to talk to a lot of people about this, haven't I, Robbie, about this in the last couple of days, getting people to convince people. But we want people to try Cryptoverse, right? It's enough saying people are signing up and whitelisting and stuff. This is just giving that people that extra push to actually log in and experience the metaverse for the first time. Okay, so that's the sort of rationale behind that. If anyone wanted to know, Rob, do you have any further comments?
No, I think it's a really cool incentive for people. The feedback from the playtests is really important, for the success of Cryptoverse. Obviously, for when the official launch occurs, it's really important that there's as much polish as possible, so that people are going to want to be part of the world. They're going to want to choose Cryptoverse for the deployment of their content, whether that be for experiential, for play, for explore, for brand narrative, for monetization, whatever it may be, whatever these different verticals that users choose Cryptoverse for that. So the better the quality of the feedback in these playtests, the more people participate, and the closer we will get to a more polished product upon release. So I think it's a good incentive to have. I think for any sort of other big prizes going forward, I think we should definitely look to kind of think about like having different layers of engagement. We could encourage people to participate more strongly in the AMA, for example, and stuff like that. But generally speaking, obviously our end goal is that really important feedback as part of the playtest. So hopefully it does add some value in terms of incentivization.
Yeah, exactly. And as I say, we'll still be providing some prizes for the actual playtest itself. So but really the prize is taking part. I think that's the prize. I mean, you win land and stuff, but the prize is the journey you go on. I think in all of life, philosophy. So
calm down, you mate.
so
We've got any questions? It'd be nice to get some more questions. Whoever's participating, any questions you've got, foam in. We often get loads of people watching this after. I don't know if it's the timing or what, Dan, but then loads of people watch these sort of events we throw, but we don't get loads and loads of questions at the time.
No, I think a lot of our analytics show that we've got a lot of silent people generally. But that's fine. This is why we do this. This is why we record
Decentralized.
We watch these back. So let's have a look. So we've got Alessandro Palladino has asked, doesn't creating a metaverse in Unreal Engine make it heavy? I think that is it's a fair thing to say, Rob, right?
I guess I'm speculating on what it means by heavy. I mean, maybe it means graphically heavy. Quite possibly. I'm actually not sure. I'm just speculating on what it means by heavy. But yeah, I mean, if he's referring to graphics, then of course, it makes it probably like a big executable file as well. It's probably 2 to 3 gig. It's graphically demanding for sure. But that's because if you want beautiful graphics, if you want the beauty of the world, which is one of the big USPs here, then you need an engine that can provide that level of detail. So yeah, if that's the question, then that's the answer. Yeah, Unreal Engine does mean heavy in that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think something that you stuck with me when I first actually started with Cryptoverse, one of the things you said was, "Hey, we're building the metaverse of tomorrow as well." So Unreal 5, in a year or so, might actually be not dated, but people might have caught up by the time we actually release. So it actually makes sense to build it in this kind of program at this time with one eye on the future. I think
Well, typically hardware outpaces software, and just to kind of give a real stellar example of that, I've got a 1050 Ti in my PC. I've just been lazy not to update it. I mean, my CPU and everything's really good, but I just stuck in my old GPU and never updated it. I've got a laptop, obviously. It's got like 3070 or whatever. But my 1050 will run Valheim. It'll run Sons of the Forest, which are 2 games released in the last year or so, which are quite, demanding in some cases. So and that 1050 Ti I've had since what was like 16 or something, which is what 18, 19-year old GPU, which still runs those games. So just to kind of put that into context is that, yeah, right now, obviously you need what is maybe relatively quite expensive hardware to run the graphical demands. But you will see in the next year to 2 years, some of those GPUs and hardware is reducing price that will be able to run Cryptoverse pretty well. So we're also kind of building towards that in knowledge that when we even started building it, that at the time it would require strong hardware, and that's still kind of the case. But we're already starting to see some of those new GPUs make their way to market, and we'll see that even more over the next sort of 12 to 24 months.
Thank you, Rob. And CryptoMonk asks, just talks about what might you've been mentioning when you talked about importing items. Is there going to be any of that in this kind of playtest at this time?
No, there'll be no of the importing of items currently. I mean, we're still a little bit of a way off that, Monk. Namely because we're still, even with the builder, we're still figuring a lot of that out ourselves. There's a lot of nuance to that sort of thing. But obviously, ultimately, that's the goal. That users will be able to import some of their own items. But I just don't know how far away we are from that yet. I don't want to put a timeline on that just yet. First of all, it's a case of getting the builder working really well, and then it's a case of understanding how best to curate assets. Then we need the modding tool working, which is the functionality side, and that working well. And then we need to have an effective curation model, as well as any supporting middleware solutions for auto, I don't know, checking, if you like, the quality of content, whether it meets certain criteria of poly count, whether it meets, the requirements for any, materials or textures, and how many can be dedicated to a particular parcel. If we've got LODs or H slots to consider, there's a huge amount that is still kind of not, we still don't have all the answers. And every time Unreal or Epic release a new version of Unreal, that moves the goalposts. It's happened from 5.1 to 5.2 to us recently as well. This is what has also caused some problems for us on the world partitioning side. It changes how it computes the assets and the world itself, and it doesn't like it, and then you have to change it all, and that means goalposts moved again. There'll come a point where we have to probably dig our heels in and draw a line in the sand and say, this is where we're going to take it. And then once the actual product's released, it'll probably need to be, if it's still driven by the core team at that time, a big effort to update to a new version, and a big effort to recommunicate all of the new requirements for content amendments and upgrading, for as well as the tools, if there are middleware tools for the community to understand the new requirements for content deployment. It's no small task, and that's even if you aren't involved in the likes of governance by that point, for example, and vote whether or not to upgrade to the new version. So there's a huge amount of almost exhaustive amount of considerations.
Rob, let me just say, I feel like you've had a busy week already.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just a case of I've seen it happen before, where your community could spend either lots of their time or lots of their money or whatever it may be producing content to a certain specification or requirements, and then as soon as you update to a new version or you update something in the engine, vamoosh, all that work may be gone in an instant. So obviously that can have a lot of disgruntled businesses, brands, users, whatever it may be, and it's something that you want to avoid. So whilst the product's in pure development, it's a case of we can keep pace with these releases from Epic, because all it affects is the internal development. It don't have all of the external considerations to kind of abide by, and it keeps us kind of up to date with the engine tech. At the point where the product's released, that changes somewhat. It's no longer as easy just to kind of move the goalposts, because you're therefore affecting other users, especially at the point that you are allowing for the importation of custom designed assets, for example. If it's still just a builder and the modding tool, it will just probably just break those things, and that would be on the internal team again to update them and bring them aligned to the new requirements, as well as any kind of existing content and assets that are in the CBD or otherwise. So it's not ideal. It means a lot of work for the internal team every time we do that. And every time there's more layers of content added onto that, it means more work or more functionality. So it's still no small thing. It affects us hugely as the internal team. But what I'm talking about here is version control, it by and large as well. It changes when you're kind of also impacting a community has already started to import their own custom functionality or assets. So we'll take the leash that we've been given to work with until the deployment of the importation functionality for custom assets and functionalities afforded to us, to keep in line with the engine, which is constantly improving massively, that's being released from Epic as well, until we can. So hopefully that sort of answers that question a bit.
Alessandro asked us a kind of similar question about importing 3D items, and I think you've just covered that as well. It's not at this time during this playtest. So if anyone's got any questions, please keep them bring them through now, as I sort of just do a little bit of an overview of what's going on. Obviously, so we have the playtest begin on Wednesday. We want as many people to try it as possible. There's a number of different exploration options during the playtest, a number of different gamification options during the playtest for you to try and have some fun, mess about with your friends. There's the builder tool that you can sort of create some stuff with. You can then kind of travel to the end of the CBD area, the hub area, get lost, and try and find your way back as well. I believe you can actually build on those parcels as well. So again, nothing will last, but it's just it's to give you an idea and a sense of the metaverse and sense of the cryptoverse, and also to give you an idea of what it might be like to build on your own land as well. So please go ahead and try that as well. Try everything. That's why the competitions are there, right? For you to try everything, and so we can see you trying everything as well. There's going to be around the clock support. So in our Discord channel, there's going to be the dev team available for you to talk to at any time. Just like last time, there's going to be people there just talking you through the process. Any questions around controls, or can you do this? Can you do that? Something's broke. Everything will be in Discord where you can ask us one-on-one. That's, we're really excited. We really liked how the last one went. So yeah, definitely go ahead and talk to us. You can report bugs as well in Discord as well, right? So feel free to come in and report the bugs. There'll be a form as well, but you can also do it in Discord as well. So let me just see. Our friend Monk, will there be a competition for unclaimed token? So the different competitions are structured like this. So we've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? So we've got 2 days, but we're going to sort of put it into 3 days. So on
3 days done, isn't it? Really, it's 48 hours, but over 3 days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So on Wednesday there'll be kind of a building competition and a social competition, aka build something. I'll release the theme later on, like I said, and then also take a photo of something again on Wednesday. We'll kind of stick to that format every single day, right? So you'll always be incentivized to be kind of getting a really good shot or doing a really nice piece of content, right? A nice building. On top of that, there is going to be prizes for the racing, who get the highest score, for the parkour, again, who get the best score, and the maze as well, like who can complete the maze the fastest as well. So I think outside of the kind of let's say the core competitions that we always expect to run because we want to see your buildings, and we want to see your photos. The other ones are really around those time trial type gamification layers. Obviously, finally, there is obviously the laptop as well, which is just really requires you to go in and just give it a try in the first place. I hope that's answering your question. So yeah, the really simple to enter. All you need is an Epic Games account. Please try it, give it a go. We'll remind you in terms of actually how do you get the download link. If you've been selected to be whitelisted, you'll get that in your email. It'll also be, I think, dropped into the playtesting group as well at the right time. So we'll keep you updated as it goes on as well. So if you're not fortunate to be able to try it, or you're on a Mac, like me, for example, there'll be regular content updates throughout the Cryptoverse over the next couple of days as well. We'll be packaging videos together, just as always, just so we can try and spread the word as much as possible. We will be running a Gleam competition as well, actually, when we begin. So there'll be an incentive to kind of go into Cryptoverse, upload a video, and tag us in it, a YouTube video, and you can basically you can win some USDT if you win that competition as well. So we're really trying to, our main thing is, hey, come give this a try. Let us know what you think. Give us some feedback for the next playtest. That's really what we want out of this. Is there anything else that you want out of this, Rob, would you say, or is that pretty much it?
I think generally speaking, I'd like to see some improvements in terms of player feedback. I was actually really impressed with the general response we got from the first player test, considering there weren't loads to do. It was, the first one ever time really where we'd let people in. So I'd just like to see some improvements in terms of engagement and the number of users that are coming to try it out. Hopefully people are spending longer in there as there's a bit more to do. So I just want to see some improvements in those general metrics that demonstrate that we're moving in the right direction. And obviously that user feedback is more developed, maybe more unique and more defined. And also that generally people are seeming to be more engaged and spending more time there. So yeah, just some positive movement in terms of feedback and traction would be obviously fantastic as well. I want to see people having a good time. Last time people, despite again what was fairly minimalistic, people seem to have generally quite a good time. So again, I just want to see more of that. I want to see people enjoying the kind of efforts and the work that have gone into this, and the team really does pour the life and soul into it. So having people seemingly enjoy it, I think last time really brought a lot of motivation and joy to the team, and I'm hoping that we get something similar and another burst of life from that, because it's hard work and people really work hard. So that would be nice to also see and feel too.
Yeah, and yeah, I echo that, Rob. We need more people, and we need to, obviously, the feedback is really, really helpful. Monk, in terms of the day and night cycle, yeah, that is a thing. So day and night cycle is part of this. It actually lines up with the real day and night cycle of the UTC clock, I want to say, Rob.
Yeah, for the moment. So it might be a little bit out of sync for, say, Monk, I think, depending on where I believe he is in the part of the world. I won't speak specifically. That's his business. But yeah, obviously for some people who are not necessarily aligned to UTC, it might seem a little bit out of sync to them. But yeah, it's the day-night cycle is there, and it is currently aligned to UTC. I think it's possible in the future, depending on the number of users and where those users are, that we can have other servers which align the day-night cycle to their time zones and stuff as well. But it also depends on how many people, generally speaking, that they want to be kind of in an environment with. So how much we want to scale, how many users are in one world at a time. Obviously, I think generally speaking, the more in one world, the more users there are, the more sort of positive that experience and more immersive that experience will be. So there's a few factors to consider there, but for now, just as the dev team, this is what we thought would be probably most in line with the height, the number of users we have in a particular demographic that we can expect, and it's also a good placeholder to align to UTC for the moment in time.
Okay. I think that's it for now, then, guys. Unless anyone's got any further questions, I think we'll reach our logical conclusion. Please as I say, please look out in your emails as we release more information over the next couple of days. And please join us on Wednesday for the 2-day playtests. This will be the start of many of these playtests as we keep going on throughout the year. So it's always good to get your feedback, and hopefully you enjoy the competitions and give them your all. So thank you very much, guys. Thanks, Robbie.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much to those that have attended and asked questions. It's really appreciated. And thank you for, if you have already signed up to the playtest, genuinely really appreciate it, and look forward to the feedback, both positive and development. We want to hear it all. So thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Take it easy. Have a wonderful evening. See you in the Cryptoverse.
Cheers, guys.